So we're officially a week out of the surgery at the Barrows Clinic. It was called a biopsy, turned into a tonsillectomy, but the doctor got a bunch of that tumor out and we're relieved. There were complications, so I spent some time in the hospital, but we're getting back to chores and trying to get life back to normal. And I appreciate it if you guys do me a favor and don't tell my mom you saw me lifting more than 10 pounds. I think some of those rules are arbitrary. Definitely not made for a Yeti.
Hi, and welcome to Yeti at Large. This is a channel focused on making the most out of what you have, no matter where you're at. Thanks for tuning in and helping out.
So let's do a very brief update and kind of talk about what's moving forward. And again, if you're like me and just starting this journey and looking for questions and you need someone to connect with, reach out to Yeti at Large on YouTube. I'd love to chat with you in the comments. You can send me an offline email. I may not know anything. I certainly don't have a lot of answers, but I'm definitely here to support people, especially retired peace officers. So it's a week after surgery. On Tuesday, December 23rd, we had what they called a biopsy. He also did a tonsillitis and basically took as much of the tumor that was exposed on the side of my throat to biopsy and to remove the mass. It was a tremendous relief. Surgery was about an hour plus, bled a whole lot, nearly wound up with a tracheotomy, but fortunately I have such a strong clotting response that I didn't bleed and that wasn't necessary. They did keep me in the hospital overnight, pumped me full of steroids to help the healing on the incision, and discharged me with strict instructions. No heavy lifting, not a lot of activity, surgical soft diet, and then of course I had appointments and referrals to go see oncologists and specialists. So fast forward a couple days, we get through Christmas and then we go to our next set of doctor's appointments. And this was to get ready for radiation, which is a targeted X-ray beam in a gantry style device that'll spin around and focus the beam. I'll have chemotherapy once a week. Looks like that's going to start at the beginning of the week because doing an IV chemotherapy will help the radiation. How they're going to accomplish that is they're going to install an IV port here on my shoulder to make it easier so they don't have to repeatedly stick my veins, because apparently the side effects of this drug that they're going to give, cisplatin, which is literally made out of platinum, is the veins will get hard, weak, and shallow. Also have to go see a dentist for a clean update because of the area they're going to be shooting the beam. There's a significant risk of tooth loss. I have to go see an audiologist hearing specialist because they want a baseline to see how much that affects my hearing. Newsflash, years in law enforcement, I have ripping tinnitus in my ears. Anyway, I saw this same audiologist in 2020 and they got mad at me because they kept telling me stuff about hearing loss and wanting me on hearing aids, and I kept saying, "What?" They didn't think it was funny, but I did. So I got to see them. I have to do, now they tell you that you need to do weekly blood draws to determine if you're healthy enough to nuke the next day. And I do love the fact that the blood draws cannot utilize the port. So I will have to get needle sticks every week for the blood draw, no big deal, but if the veins are hard to find, that could become a challenge. They're telling me chemo is going to take anywhere from 2-3 hours at a time on the 1 day a week we're going to do it, and then I go right to radiation, which should take 10 to 15 minutes at a time. They prescribe a bunch of anti-nausea medicines. They offered me a feeding tube in my stomach, but that's where I'm drawing the line. I was a chef for 25 years. I know food, I know nutrition, and I know my body, and I know my constitution. I'm going to battle through that. I don't want some stupid feeding tube. No shade on you if you need one or want one. I just know that's a bridge too far for me, and I'm going to fight that tooth and nail. This is supposed to go on up to 6-7 weeks, before they reevaluate with another PET scan. That's where they inject the fluorescing glucose into your body. Hi, kiddo. You're a pretty girl. You're a pretty girl. Yes, you are. Yeah, I know. Interesting thing with the chemo, I don't like MRIs. I don't like the sensation of being shoved in a tube this wide for a half an hour with hammers banging on it from your head to the top of your toe. Might as well bury me alive. The CT scans aren't near as bad, but then I had a new experience in the CT simulator where they make this mask. See this cool picture? It's a heat-formed mask that they put over your head and your shoulders and literally bolt it to the table so that you can't move while they're aiming the beam at you. It's quite the procedure, and my favorite thing is I showed it to one of my kids, and they pulled the first Hannibal Lecter joke and said, "Jesus, what did you eat with that liver?" So, somebody I dearly love asked me if the shoe was on the other foot and I was supporting them in their cancer journey, what advice, what countenance, what counsel would I provide? And that was a very tough question to answer, because as much as I'm really not enjoying having to go through this, I couldn't dream of how difficult it would be to support someone I love going through this. But then it dawned on me, the advice that I had is to treat it like war. I said in the first video that whoever said winning isn't everything never had to fight cancer. And with fighting cancer, winning is everything. So it's like going to war. And I want to share with you the piece of advice that I got about going to war. I have the privilege of knowing one of the greatest soldiers and peace officers Western civilization has ever known, Mongo. And when I first met Mongo, he gave me some great advice about how to win a gunfight. And I think fighting cancer is like winning a gunfight. He gave me 3 easy lessons. He said the first one, get all the guns you have. The second step, get all the friends you have with guns. And then the third step, and by far and away the most important, is sustained, accurate return fire. And this advice is going to help me more than he could ever know. Get all the guns you have. Get all your tools. Get all your weapons together. Fighting cancer, that is, get your home life settled. Get your financial affairs settled. Get your nutrition in order. Get your sleep in order. Get all your ducks in a row. Get everything squared away, and know that the stronger you can go into this, the more likely the stronger you're going to come out of it. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be a rough ride, but if I went into this exhausted, weak, discouraged, and beat up, it's going to get a lot tougher. So yeah, get all the guns that you have. 2, get all the friends with guns. Now, I'm very blessed. I'm supported with people that love me. I've got a life partner, I've got children, I have family members. My mom's a nurse, and that's worth its weight in gold. And they're there for me. Now, I'm not asking too much of them, because this is not my identity. This is just something I'm dealing with. But man, I got a good gang of gunfighters in my corner, and that does wonders for you. And then third, accurate, sustained return fire. When you start this thing, keep your nose in it. When I start chemo and radiation, it's going to be 5 days a week for 6, maybe more weeks. Don't flinch. Don't let up. Don't back away. Keep your nose in it. You're going to have bad days. It's going to get rough. Taste buds are going to go away. Hearing's going to get shot. Going to be fatigued. Might get nauseous, etc., etc., etc. Don't give up. Don't let up. And the thing is, he took a huge chunk of this tumor out of my throat, and now we got it on its heels. Let's finish it off. Kind of like Mike Tyson, man. Don't let up. The results of the PET scan were astonishing. Look at how this thing just glows. That's the cancer. Here's a huge relief. They basically did from the top of my head to my knees with that, and there's no other cancer, so it hasn't spread anywhere. We caught it quick. Let that be a lesson to you. Yeah, she's not hanging out because I'm that interested. She's hanging out because she knows I got apples. Isn't that right, kiddo? Maybe I wanted that apple. Oh, who am I kidding? She's a sweetheart. She talks to you all the time, hangs out all the time. She's a good girl. Let's end this video on a win. I want to show you guys something fun. Come on. So one of our kids got me this for Christmas. This little Highlands mini cow stuffed animal in this mug. This is my chemo mug. And I will smash it into 1,000 pieces when all this is done. That is definitely going to happen. But how we do it is up to you, the viewers. Yeah, we could take it and spike it on the ground for sure walking out of the chemo lab. I get that, but it seems a little unceremonious and a little not Yeti at large. So I want you to decide. Please leave a comment down below. We could hit it with a single round from an AR-15 at 100 yards. We could launch it off the top of the mountain. We could grind it into pieces. We could break it with a hammer and rebuild it kintsugi style. Let me know how you think I should break this, especially if you have an idea. It's going to be weeks and weeks downrange, but I promise you, we're going to fight like hell. And we're going to get to a place where we can break that mug. I'll have another update a little bit downrange, and if you leave a comment and request something specifically, I'll certainly do a video on it. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you guys. Yeti at large.